Hi, my name's Jane Kilby, and I am the IB coordinator here at Channing Hall. Thank you for sending your student to our middle years program. We really love seeing them in the hallways or at home on the screen, and we really appreciate your support in their learning at home. We know that it's not easy, and thank you. I'm grateful that we can work together as a team. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about ManageBac and IB grading. So first of all, I want to start out with our cookie chart to explain the IB grading system. As you can see on the left, we have a 0 through 8 grading system, and we'll start with 0. Let's say that the teacher asked for chocolate chip cookies and the student submitted a peanut butter sandwich, or as oftentimes happens in Google Classroom, they will click submit their work, but they forget to upload their work. So make sure that they're being thorough in their thought processes so they don't get a 0. 1 and 2 represent a burned cookie, so we were asking for something far better and they did minimal effort. They burned the cookie. It just didn't work out the way we wanted. 3 to 4 is approaching expectations. It's pretty good. As you can see in this picture, the cookies are just a little small. So they're not quite meeting the expectation yet, but the student made an effort to do it and they're approaching that expectation. So 5 and 6, as you can see, represent some pretty good cookies. Most students that really try hard are going to be in the 5-6 range. In order to get a 7 and 8, that goes above and beyond the expectation. So the student would have submitted cookies along with milk or a really excellent job on the assignment. So let me show you what that means in a different way. Here is our IB criteria grading chart, and you can see the percentages. So IB grades don't match up exactly with percentages, but they do represent fairly closely what this might be. So 99 to 100% is an 8. It's very rare that a student will get an 8 on an assignment. And on the final report card, an 8 isn't even an option. So it would be for a 0 through 7 grading scale on the final report card. And as you can see, it goes down from there. 90 to 95% would be a 6. And then a 5 also goes in that meets expectation range. So both of those would be equal to an A and a B, as you can tell from the percentages. So 4 and 3 represent 75 and 65%. And then again, when we're down to the 0 through 2, just didn't meet the expectation at all and it fell far short. So that's a little bit about our grading. Let me show you how to check it in ManageBac. First of all, if you don't have a parent account, contact me by email. It's jkilby@channinghall.org. I did send invitations to parent accounts, but it was a while ago and your link might have expired. So go ahead and click on that link again and you can get into your student's account. As you can see here, I've created a practice parent account. So in the upper right-hand corner, I have practice parent is my name. And then over here on the left-hand side, you'll see that my student is named practice. I also have a student named demo. So practice and demo are my two students in the MYP program in different grades. We're looking at practice students account right now. And you can see the assignments that have come up. We are here under, whenever you're wondering, go back to Channing Hall at the top and then you can see everything. So we're here under the academics tab and here's Practice Kilby's account. These assignments are up. It's a Utah Studies account, Utah Studies assignment, and a Spanish assignment. You can see that those are up, but they're not quite graded yet along with guitar. But if we go down the list to about a week ago, we can see that the grades are in for the homework in the math honors class. This student got a 10 out of 10. So if it says local points, that's a traditional grading scale like you're used to, or 10 out of 10 would be 100%. Down here, local points, 7 out of 10 would be more like the 70%. So often you'll see local points on the more formative homework because those ones do not count toward the grade as much as the summative assignments. If you see IB criteria in grading, then it's a more summative assignment. So we will go on to the portfolio, and different students will have different files in here according to different subjects, so you can look in there. A lot of the work is being done through Google Classroom right now, so the students will have it in their Google Drive instead. We wanted to keep it consistent between MYP and PYP and use Google Classroom for both. So sometimes you'll need to go in there to see your student work. Over here we have the calendar, and I show this to students as a to-do list. And I'll go down here to the upcoming events and deadlines. You can see that everything's in order from September 15th on down. And so I will ask the students to use that like a checklist so that they remember what they need to do first and down to the end. They really don't at this age know how to prioritize things very well. So you can help us at home with getting them to do the right assignments at the right time. On the calendar itself, you can see that they have little eyes over the homework. So if I hover over that eye on el alfabeto y los números, we can see that students will learn the Spanish alphabet and practice the pronunciation of letters. Students will do the alphabet dictionary activity and so forth. So if your student is going to miss class, you don't need to email the teacher to ask what will happen in class. You can just go here to the IB calendar on ManageBac, hover over the eye and see what the student will be doing. And it'll also have everything else in there that you need. Between this and Google Classroom, we're pretty well covered. You can see on this preamble quiz that Ms. Struxma put in a form link. So the student will just need to click on that and they go take the quiz right there on the form. So that's really handy as well. ManageBac is a great tool, and if we get familiar with it, we can really help our students. Let's go on to messages here. You can see that there are messages for each individual class if I go under messages there, but there's also this messages tab up on the right, and I can see that I have 25 new messages as practice parent. So if I click on that, I've got all these new messages, grade notifications, and so forth. Many times your teachers will send them by email as well. So as I'm looking at this, I've just got grade notifications and I'm familiar with all of those. So I'm just going to say delete all notifications. Well, actually, I'll say I'm going to mark them all as read because there's really not a limit to our cloud space. And it might be nice to go back and read those messages at some point. So that's how we do messages. As we go on, I want to show you a little bit about our units. For those of you that have really high students, you can go into our unit plans and look at the different classes that the teachers have set up and the units, and you can support the student even more at home by looking at these different things. So if I'm in academics, I go to Utah Studies class. And I can click on this unit, the state we're in, and this is the current unit you can see. And so I'm going to click on that, and it tells us all the IB elements that match what our student is learning. So as we're talking about Utah history, we're also talking about fairness and development as a global context. We're talking about systems. So system is our government, and students need to understand that the government is just one of the many systems that we have in the world to make things work the way that they should. So there's a big conceptual understanding and a statement of inquiry. So this will tell you what the whole unit is about. Political systems are the people, perspectives, and processes that use power to help make decisions through fairness and development. So you can see some of these inquiry questions. I encourage you to go over these with your students at home so you can make sure that they understand the big idea and not just the facts and figures of history, but they understand why those facts and figures matter. So we need your help and support in doing that at home. And you can see the different stream and everything that Ms. Struxma has put up in addition for that unit. So thank you for your support with that. One more thing I want to go over is reports. This is where you can access your student report cards. So as you can see, practice student has one for quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they'll be in there for all the different years. And so when it comes time for high school, especially for the parents of our 8th grade students, many of the teams and clubs will start asking for grades. And you can go right here to ManageBac under reports. And you can click on a report card. I've pulled one up right here, and it shows my report card, practice students report card. And it'll show that 0 through 8 scale like we talked about. Has the IB learner profile. And summary of achievement. Of course, practice student didn't get real grades except for in Spanish class because we just wanted to practice. So in criteria A, B, C, and D, they got different grades. So A, B, C, and D do not represent letter grades here. They represent the different criteria that the students are graded on. So A might be knowing and understanding, C might be communicating. It depends on the class. But what ManageBac does is they average these out for the final grade. And the teacher has the final say of whether that final grade is fitting for that student or not, and it might not be. So they might change one of these criteria in order to give the student a higher grade or a lower grade, depending on where they stand. And you can see I've converted this over to a letter grade of a C. And so a 4 was equal to about 75%, as we saw on the chart. And so that equals a C. And that's everything for the report card. We have an IB Parents Association over here, and you can see different messages that I send out as the coordinator. We had a benefit night. We've got different things you can do to help your students at home, yearbook, things like that, that might have gone out in the weekly message from Miss Worth, and I just support them on ManageBac. And you can see that we've got a calendar in here for parent events. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot live right now, but feel free to ask me any questions at any time. I'm here. My phone number is 801-572-2709, and I'm extension 250. So if you just call the school and then press 250, you'll reach me as the coordinator, and I'll be happy to help you with any IB related questions, ManageBac questions. If you have a problem with a student's Google login, I can help you with that. I have many different roles here at the school. So I hope that you've enjoyed this presentation today, and I will get back to you with different things later on in the year. Unfortunately, right now we're not able to do service learning out in the community, but do what you can to help your students learn to serve at home and to call grandparents and do whatever they can to show love to others. And let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.